Hi, I'm Sean Vanneman. I wrote the bulk of 100% of this game.
Hey, I'm Jake Rodkin. I did a lot of level design, UI design, and worked with everyone on the story for Firewatch.
The game has this weird structure that Chris and I talk about in another tape. This is the first thing I wrote, was this opening of the game that jumps between Henry's life and the trip out to the woods. And I used a little product called Twine to do that, which you can download and use. It's just a very simple choose your own adventure tool. The simplest way to program a video game that one can then share with friends and play.
I think we were worried that the team would sort of perceive Henry as a blank slate, as sort of a generic game player protagonist, and we wanted to make sure, or we wanted to get in everyone's mindset, you're playing as a specific guy with a specific life.
Yeah, there's a reason when you play video games that a lot of your protagonists have amnesia, because it's really difficult when you're driving a character around who knows things about their life, or his or her life, that you, who you ostensibly are that person, don't know. So yeah, we kept trying to write an opening of the game that happened sort of like weeks into Henry's experience, and then quickly realized that it was like, well, why would he not be able to say X? Well, because his relationship with his wife is Y. So, but the player doesn't know that. Yeah. And this was the quickest way to get everybody on board, was to just take the thing that I wrote that answered the question, I think, for Jane and you at the beginning, which was like, who is Henry? And I would write these character profiles that were really bad. And then I went, what if I just let you play a thing? And then you can figure out who he is. And we held on to that until we had the idea to put into the game.
It means that when you're playing Firewatch and Henry and Delilah start talking about Henry's wife, you don't have to learn it through his dialogue, because you made the choices that brought him where he is today. Hi, it's Jake again.
Hey.
Hi, it's Jake again.
Hey, I'm Chris.
Hi, it's Jake again.
Hey, I'm Chris Remo.
Oh, hey, Chris.
Hi there. I was a game designer and the music composer on Firewatch.
Nice.
So you're hearing now the first piece of interactive music that went into Firewatch. The first piece of music that actually
responds to what you're doing in the game?
Exactly, yeah. So this is a piece of music that's divided into technically 6 parts. And what's happening is, as you're playing through this introductory sequence, when you hit certain points in the narrative, it sends a signal to Wise, which is the name of the audio middleware we're using. And then when Wise gets that signal, it waits until the next sort of musically appropriate transition point. And then when it hits that, it smoothly transitions into the next section of music. And so it creates the effect that you're just listening to one big long piece of music that just happens to be timed very nicely to your playthrough.
It just happens to get sadder and sadder at the exact rate that your life gets sadder and sadder.
Yeah, exactly. This was a challenging process, both because I had no idea what the music should sound like, and also because it was the first interactive piece of music in the game. So the technical sort of just, how does this work, was also a part of it. But as it turned out, this music was changed. I mean, Jake, you may remember this. This music changed relatively little over the course of development in comparison to a lot of.
I think it started off as maybe 3 pieces, and it expanded out to 5 over development. But other than that, it's one of the first things dropped in, shipped. Get ready to hear about that a lot on this commentary.
I'm Nels Anderson, and I was a designer and gameplay programmer on Firewatch.
I am Jane Ng, and I worked on the 3D environment art in Firewatch.
So you're likely standing at the base of your home away from home. You're home in the wilderness. For all intents and purposes, more or less, this is basically just a real straight-up tower like they existed out in the woods, right?
Yeah, I think it is Portland. There's somebody in Portland who was very good about archiving a lot of blueprints about various type of fire lookouts of the state, and we got some, and that's how we started off building the Firewatch. The lookout tower, just by looking through how they were actually built.
It's slightly taller than a real one, right?
We had to make quite a bit of adjustments because, for example, the stairway you see here, normally fire lookout stairways are not on the outside, but for more interesting gameplay and views for the player, we opted to change that. But ultimately we still wanted the tower to feel like a real tower, so we had to figure stuff like, hey, how does the plumbing actually work? How do they get water? Stuff like that. It actually is very important for a real tower.
And if you go look around the base of the tower, you will actually see a big old plastic cistern.
We are not a survival game of any sort, but it is important to make sure that like all that stuff is actually thought out, so the space feels realistic.
Right. You don't want someone playing the game being like, wait a minute, there's no how does this guy drink? How is he not dead?
When I normally play video games, I'm always interested in stuff like, hey, where's the bathroom? So here we have the outhouse and you can go anywhere, but stuff like water is very important. So in a real fire lookout situation, what they do is they will use like a cistern, and they will capture rainwater from the roof, and you will actually see that we actually have a little pipe down from the roof, and we even have what they call a first flush filter being there, which is actually what they use.
That's my favorite kind of filter, really.
I had to look up what do they do, because like once you go, okay, you collect rainwater from the roof, it want to be all nasty, and then oh hey, somebody already figured that out on how to collect rainwater. What do you know?
We actually visited a number of different lookout towers as we were like researching the game, and it was always very satisfying to see elements of things we saw in the real world and make their way back into the game, and vice versa.
So we also made sure to have a tab here, like a little faucet, where you can actually get water from the cistern.
Yeah, if you click on it, it will play an animation of a hand gripping a knob and water comes out for 2 seconds. Doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But it's there.
I think for a while we actually were thinking like, should we just let the player turn on the water? Or then what happens if the water just runs out? And then James had a very good idea of just going like, oh, just make one animation that you turn on the faucet and turn it off immediately, just so that you know, hey, there's water in here and you won't die. That's Henry.
Hello, Two Forks Tower.
Hello? Whoever this is?
It's Henry, right?
Yeah.
I'm Delilah.
Yeah, that's what the guy said on the phone.
So, what's wrong with you?
Excuse me?
People take this job to get away from something. So, what's wrong?
What's wrong with you?
That's a great idea. Go ahead.
Look, I just hiked for 2 days, so I don't really follow whatever it is you're doing right now.
You take a stab at what's wrong with me.
Fine, then can I sleep forever?
Sure, buddy. Okay, now go ahead.
Okay, you're probably just rebelling against a mom who wishes you had given her grandkids, by the sound of your voice, at least 15 years ago. You come out here and it really grinds her gears and you love it. Can I sleep now?
Well, she also says I fuck immature men, but in my defense, who wouldn't want a 28-year-old with ambition and energy and some fire in his belly in bed?
Me, I'm going now.
Just a second, now it's my turn.
Okay, good night, bye.
Let's see. I don't know anything about you, but maybe you just really like trees. Maybe it's a borderline fetish. A tree fetish.
Good night.
Good night. Welcome to the job. Good morning, Henry. Well, I guess good afternoon. You probably slept like a rock. Anyway, there's still a few hours of daylight to get some work in. I can see you at your desk, so call me when you're ready.
Hey, sorry, guess I slept in.
You got a relaxing, 14 hours of sleep? Woo!
Yeah, Jesus, I guess it's 6?
6:45.
Whoops.
Don't worry about it. That hike puts everyone out of commission for a day or two. But now that you're up, let me quickly get you acquainted with the job. There's a thing in the middle of your room with a round map on it. Do you see it?
Okay, yeah, I see it.
This is the Osborne Firefinder, invented in 1914 by W.B.
Osborne?
You use this to spot, you guessed it, What the fuck?
What is it?
Nothing. You use this to... Oh, fuck me!
Good God, language, lady.
Out your west-facing window. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Whoa, that's not legal, right?
No. You need to get down there right now and stop them. Fire danger is through the fucking roof.
Is that really my job?
Your job is whatever I say it is. Look, the closest ranger is like 2 days away. Go down there and set him straight. Do you think you can handle that?
Like, kick the shit out of him sort of straight?
No. Jesus, no.
What? I'm not a cop. It's not like I've got a rule book over here.
Just make sure they don't do it again. Take their shit.
All right, fine.
Don't feed anyone a knuckle sandwich. Get going. You'll probably need a rope to get down the shale between you and the lake, if I remember right. There should be one in the supply box on the way. The code is 1234. It's actually that for all of them.
Convenient.
That's one word for it.
Hi there, it's Jake.
And Chris again.
Hey, so here we are in the cache box clearing, or at least I guess that's what we call it. There's a lot of cache boxes in Firewatch, but this was the first one that we placed into the game.
For a long time, this was the cache box.
It was the cache box, even though we knew we wanted to have more. This area was actually one of the first areas that we built out to any degree that looks like a piece of the world. It was a really good proving ground for us. Like when me and Nels Anderson were grayboxing the world at the very beginning, we tried a million different things, like maybe this was on the edge of a cliff, or maybe it was a secret that you had to find. And I think it was Sean who suggested that he really wanted it to feel like a warm, sort of enclosed space, like you've stumbled onto a little glen and you want to stay there for a while, which I think makes sense because we wanted people to actually stop and poke around and have it not feel like the woods.
This was an area with a lot of firsts. I remember this really ended up looking a lot like Ollie's concept art in a way I think that felt like an accomplishment when it all got built out. It was also the first audio I implemented in the entire game, I believe.
The Foley on the locks and the lid?
Right, exactly.
Oh, this was,
yeah.
man, this was also, the cache box was also our proving ground for detailed object interaction
Yep.
with Henry animating the lock. And also, there's an exit out if you back up and turn left. That was the first time I prototyped one-way drops and also any like sort of secret paths, because the way that you cross the canyon also showed up here, and I didn't tell anyone on the team about it for like months, and people only noticed it once they started playing the back half of the game, and
Right.
it was very fulfilling for me.
Nice.
Cache box.
Cache box, land of firsts and secrets.
That's the state flag of cache boxes.
Jake,
Oh, hey, Sean.
you did a neat thing here in the game that I like a lot, which is when you make a dialogue choice with Delilah about what this dangerous hill should be called. It shows up on your map, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, when we were putting the map system together, well, actually, the map weirdly was one of the latest things, one of the final things to come into the game as a fully fleshed out piece. But an upside of that is we built the map using a lot of tools we already had. For instance, the system that checks which things you haven't talked about, which things you haven't found in the game. Use the same variable list as our speech system. So when I was putting this together, I realized, oh, not only can I put a mark down on the map when Henry finds it or talks about it, but I can totally look at the same tools we use for dialogue and figure out what the player said and put it on the map. And the end result felt really natural. I actually wish we'd gone a little deeper on it in the game, but I'm really happy with what's in there right now. Also, please name this shitty boss is going to get me killed, because that's objectively the best name for the hill.
Is that your handwriting?
Yeah, you got to cram that in there, but it's still readable.
No, no, no! Oh. Hey,
What the hell's wrong with you?
my rope snapped coming down the shale slide.
You didn't break anything, did you?
No, I think I'll make it.
Well, be careful for Christ's sake.
Hi, this is Ollie Moss, and I was the art director on Firewatch.
I'm Jane.
Hi, Jane.
Let's talk about this teen
Let's talk
party
about this.
zone.
Let's talk about the Teen Zone. So the Teen Zone is one of the first areas that we used as a sort of art test to see how we would go about building the rest of the game.
We knew from the pretty early on that, like, on day one, you will start from the tower, and you will have to head down to the lake, and somewhere in between, you will see some teens, and they're partying. And so we call this the teen zone, because this is where all the teen stuff is.
Yeah, and it was important to us that the reveal that it was a group of teens was communicated through the level design. So the idea was that you just kind of like walk through some trees and burst out into this scene where a campfire was still burning.
And you had a pretty strong idea of what you wanted to look like.
Yeah, I just wanted to put some big angular rocks in there, which is basically the like my modus operandi for the entire game. But we wanted to have a big angular sort of rock, which became known as Pride Rock because it looked so much like the rock from The Lion
No,
King.
we did name that Pride Rock, didn't we? That rock does serve as a very strong landmark pretty early in the game, and it kind of does point the player in the right direction.
Exactly. Should we talk a little bit about our process for designing these areas?
So in the beginning, when we just have like no concept art, we will just mock it out with just literally just gray boxes and a gray terrain. And then we will take screenshots and give it to Ollie to be like, please pretty this up, Ollie.
Oh well, first of all, I'll do a terrible garbage sketch and pitch it to the team. And if people like the gist of it, then we'll go away and do a bit more of a detailed drawing, and then you would go.
Yeah, we'll add in some more shapes, and then we just keep going back and forth with paint overs from Ollie.
And then it's just a sort of tennis, really, just back and forth between the two of us until everyone's happy with what we have.
Yeah.
My name is Patrick Ewing. I worked on tools and gameplay programming.
The teens, Patrick.
Let's open some old wounds here.
This is like going back to like an old battleground and being like on these hallowed grounds.
Yeah,
bad
I died on
things
this hill.
happen. I died on this hill.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the most complex interactions in the game, if not the most, right?
Yeah.
And it was in the game from the very first vertical slice we did, and then I think we kind of added to it as we played through it and saw like, oh, we should be able to throw the boombox in the lake, obviously, right? Okay, the teens need to react to the boombox being in the lake. Oh, but then they should also react to you putting it down.
What you should do if you're making a video game is build relatively ironclad, predictable AI and systems that react to inputs. But instead, we built a series of relatively flimsy state machines that were like, if this, but not when, and also if.
Right.
And we're able to create this scene as designed. And Patrick was sort of the shepherd of this scene. So whenever anything would break, if you were to throw the boombox and the teens were not to respond, or you leave with the boombox and they would talk about something else, it was Patrick's job to ferret into the state machine and figure out what was going on.
Yeah, and I'm happy with how it turned out. There are so many different ways that this scene can play out now, depending on what you choose to do. Do you throw the fireworks at them? Do you talk to them and then start messing up their stuff and throwing it in? And it ends up being pretty like believable. They feel like real characters. It's just such a crazy spaghetti code in the back end that I'm always terrified when I see someone play through it, that there's some interaction that we didn't think about.
Right now the player is interacting with the teens in a way that is completely not by the book. And
I mean, luckily we
beads
haven't...
of sweat or building on your brow.
Yeah, I think it's just a PTSD response at this point. We would see the bug reports if this was actually still breakable.
Yeah.
Side of the lake. Later, Skeezer. We're gonna tell everyone there's a perv out here.
Hey, that go okay?
It's done.
Well, that's ominous.
Hopefully there won't be any more trouble.
Good. Thanks for going down there. So, I have a bit of a confession to make.
What is it?
Look, I was drunk last night when I welcomed you to the job.
Yeah, well, you're not the first boss to be guilty of that.
I know, I know I can get a little pushy, putting you on the spot about why you're out here and stuff.
And you thought it was a good idea to get into your love life, I guess you'd call it?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I'll keep that sort of a thing to a minimum. Anyway, let me know when you get back to your lookout.
Ah!
Hi, I'm Jane. We're back.
And I'm Ollie.
Let's talk about this cave, Ollie.
Oh, let's not.
This cave really gave us all quite a bit of headache, actually. I was actually kind of having a mini panic attack because one of the hardest things to light in games actually is any area that's sort of half indoor and half outdoor, and this cave is a pain in the butt to light.
It is. Well, having we thought you'd be an old pro at this, having worked on a game called The Cave. But yeah, it caused a lot of problems in terms of the logic gating of the environment switches, because every time the time of day changes in the game, it then like sets that time of day.
Because there's no doorway really.
So the way the cave is lit, it actually just changes the time of day in the whole game. So like when you hit a trigger, if you could somehow magically transport yourself back outside the cave, you'd see like the sun spinning through the sky, the sky changing, and it was really hard to make that process invisible to the player and make it feel natural.
Not to mention that when you're inside the cave, everything also has to look really dark. And we use a method called image-based lighting throughout the game. And that basically means that all the objects, like all the trees and rocks, just look out to the sky to see what their lighting should be. And so in the cave, we actually had to do sort of like a fake sky for anything inside that is just pure black. So the lighting inside would be appropriately dark.
But still navigatable to a player without the
Exactly.
flashlight.
And and also to be able to have a smooth transition when you're going from the brightly lit outside to the really dark inside and coming back out again, and having all the appropriate logic for the time of day, like Ollie said, it was just a real pain in the butt.
Damn it. Someone broke in.
They what?
They wrecked the place. Threw my typewriter out the window. Motherfucker.
Holy shit. I'll let the Forest Service know what happened.
The place is trashed.
Okay, I put in a call.
Okay, thanks.
Do you have any idea who would have done this?
Maybe that guy I saw in the canyon, but I don't know why the fuck he'd want to mess with my stuff.
Well, I'll have the Rangers keep an eye out for a man hiking on his own and question him if they find him. I can't believe someone would do this. I worry about bears and fires, and that's about it. And Now I've got to worry about some deranged hiker going after lookouts? Great. Okay, in the morning I'm gonna call my friend Patty, who works the desk down in Cody. They keep a list of everyone who's officially been in and out of the trailhead since, I don't know, forever, and see if we can get a list of names. We won't get much, but at least if anything else happens, we can refer to it and see if anything comes up.
Thanks.
I need you to feel safe out here.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, you can protect yourself, huh?
I've done it before.
Okay, tough guy. Wake up. Hey, wake up.
I'm awake. What's your problem?
Our problem.
Sorry, our problem.
That storm knocked out the phone line I used to talk to the service, which means we're cut off. I tried radioing out, and that's not working either.
Can I go fix it?
Well, you probably can't, but what you can do is hike out to where the wire runs through your area and report back if it's down. Then I can track down a ranger to get someone on it.
Okay, I can do that. Where is it?
You probably had to hike through a cave yesterday to get home.
Yeah, I did.
So you're gonna want to go back there, go through it, and keep going straight to the north when you come out.
Will do.
Thanks, Hank.
Hey, it's Chris again.
And Sean.
Hey.
Hey.
So the conversation that you may be hearing or may be coming up soon has Delilah taking a call from another lookout. Unbeknownst to her, Henry can hear this all happening. And when she finishes that call, you as the player can choose to call her on it or not call her on it. And that was a very interesting piece of writing and design, I think.
Yeah, I really loved the idea we had here, and I love the way it is performed, but I feel like I especially would add something to it if I were to go back into the game and noodle around. This is a kind of a confusing call for people, and I'm sure if it was for you, you'll understand why, which is that people get really hung up on the fact that Delilah takes this mysterious call, and then it's never sort of like overtly explained that she's just doing her job. She's just literally just talking to someone else. And the lens through which you hear it is 100% just Henry's paranoia. But I feel like that could have been underscored here way more had I let you, the player, like, find a nuanced middle ground and sort of pry at her about what that call was without freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
If you call her on it, Henry gets very, very defensive. And while I think that goes to illustrate the fact that Henry doesn't have a lot of capacity for nuance and middle ground because he's so damaged and bummed to be in the situation he's in, I feel like he kind of did players a disservice by not letting them feel out the relationship and a potential mystery early on.
I think that dated from an earlier revision of the game in which we were barreling towards more of a hard break between Henry and Delilah.
Yes.
And this was maybe just one thing that didn't quite get that last tweak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still like the scene,
Me too.
nevertheless.
Yeah. Hey, Chris again.
And Sean.
Hey, if you saw the second trailer for Firewatch, there's a moment that takes place here where Delilah points out that there's someone in Henry's tower. Henry points out that he's not there. Camera swings back to the tower, and it's a big dramatic ending. Of course, that moment happens in a completely different part of the map in the actual game and has totally unrelated to this moment that you're now experiencing.
And this was a trailer that we had debuted with Sony at E3, so we knew we had a big audience and that a lot of people were going to see it. It's really, really challenging. I mean, you all know, because everyone goes to movies, what it's like to watch a trailer for a movie that you're excited about and maybe have already decided to see and then be shown too much stuff.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, a movie either has like the ability to or sort of the chutzpah to just show you a scene that hit the cutting room floor or an alternate version of something that gets you feeling the way you should feel and excited for the movie as presented, but doesn't spoil it for you. And I think I'm really happy that we ended up doing that. I think it's good. Like, you're not lying. It's not like we showed you a mechanic that you can't do or anything like that.
I think that we basically had to find a way to accurately convey the type of tension and mood of the game without spoiling it. And so we basically ended up just writing those trailers to fit. I think it worked.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
I think I just saw you at the top of Beartooth Point. Was everything okay up there?
Nope, those drunk dumbasses cut the comms wire and left a pair of their whites as a calling card.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm gonna go find them.
Well, good. And also, why don't you call me the next time you find something like that?
I was just trying to be a self-starter.
Hi, it's Ben.
Oh, it's Jake. Hey, Ben. So let's talk about Henry's camera. Or I guess, more specifically, the Goodwin family camera. We liked the idea of Brian and his dad bringing one of those little cardboard cameras out with them. And we had thought at various points in production, maybe we should cut taking photos because it's really complicated. Maybe you should just see the ones at the end in the credits and be shocked by the Goodwin family.
When I joined the project, I actually was super excited about this feature. I liked the idea of having the camera have a little bit of a real-world feel to it. People seemed to like when you showed an animated GIF of it on Twitter. People went crazy remembering these things.
Especially once the idea was proposed that on PC you could print out your photos or you could upload them to the internet and get them developed, which is the thing that we do.
Yeah, the photos that we take are actually secretly 5 megapixel, first generation digital camera quality photos, but just good enough that if you print them out, they look okay.
Yeah, once we went all in on that as a concept, it seemed like having the camera in the game was an essential no-brainer. And then we went all in on making it work like a real camera. We really wanted, you'll have a fixed number of shots you can take. Every time you take a picture, Henry has to wind the camera by hand.
And some players ignore it and don't take pictures. They'll take the 2 that Delilah tells you to, and then the end credits will play and they'll see 2 pictures and maybe have a little feeling of loss that they didn't participate in that feature.
Yeah, or people who get super bummed because they get really into the mystery and take pictures of strange machines and ripped up campsites and a dead Brian Goodwin, and then get to the end credit sequence and go, oh, that was me.
Yeah, they only see the sad things.
I
Those
like
people
that.
win.
Depending on how much you use the camera and what you choose to take a picture of, you end up getting a different story at the end of the game. That's the thing that I think worked out the best with the camera and made me the happiest that we actually went all out on building this stupid thing.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Well, I am flush with ropes now. Just found an old pack full of them, in decent condition, too.
That's lucky.
I mean, there's enough rope here that I could just leave them hooked up, I think. Oh, get this. This pack came with one of those cardboard single-use cameras.
With pictures left?
Yeah, he only used 3 or 4.
Neato.
Thank you, Brian Goodwin.
Wait, who?
The bag had the name Brian Goodwin sewn into the top.
Huh. Wow.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I just haven't heard that name in a few years.
He was a lookout?
Yeah, kinda, I guess. He was stationed in Two Forks, your lookout, with his dad Ned 3 summers ago. Great kid.
You can bring children out here?
No. You know, I'm not a stickler for rules. They took off halfway through the summer. Have fun with that camera. Try not to snap anything that would scar a Photodome employee.
I don't know. I got a lot of hiking to do. Might get bored.
Well, I'm bored as rocks, so I'll keep you company while you find those girls, huh? So, did you break any hearts back in Colorado when you took this job? I myself have chosen to never get attached to anyone who would miss me, but I know I'm a bit of an outlier.
I'm actually married.
But you're here.
She's sick, and I shouldn't be here, but I am.
I'm sorry, Henry. What is it?
We'll get into it.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, you are here, and it's beautiful, and escaping isn't always something bad.
Yeah, sure.
Look, I gotta go do a thing, but I'll have a radio. Okay, call me if you need to. I'm having a hell of a time getting this fucking flapjack off his ass and out to repair that wire.
Excuse me, Flapjack?
You know, like a loser, a chotch.
I really don't, but I do now.
Well, the next time you're at a bar and some banker steps on your foot so he can order his crappy martini, you've got just the name to use.
Hey, Flapjack, why don't you wait your turn before I bounce your face off a dumpster?
It's beautiful.
Hey, Jane.
Hi, Jake. Let's talk about how I almost killed you over this canyon crossing.
Why would anyone have any objection to something in a game as lovely as this area?
So originally, when we first built this whole canyon, you can only walk through the bottom where the creek is.
it looks really lovely when you're walking along the bottom looking up.
And you cannot get close to anything.
You can just
up here.
imagine what the top of the canyon looks like, and you don't ever have to see it or make it.
Basically, there was nothing up here.
But what if, think about this though, what if you could walk across the top of it and look down, and then we built all of that too?
I just remember the day when you mocked this out in the paper map and just gingerly just showed it to me. And then I looked at it and I was like,
What's that line? What's that line doing going over the...
No way, Jake.
There was no way I was gonna win that. I mean, I ended up just building a lot of it myself to
And
try.
then, and I think you were like, okay, how about this other thing? I was like, okay, this other thing is fine, but this is definitely not happening.
I just secretly built a million walls and trees and did every single thing that I possibly could to make it so
But
you
you
would look
did
at
a
it.
good job though, because the thing I was really worried about was when you're up there, you end up seeing basically the whole length of the canyon, and then also all the way to basically towards Delilah's tower, which means it's
Right,
way
all the way through the Beartooth Point
it would be
area,
way
or
too much game to try to draw.
Mule Point. Yeah,
So that
exactly.
was the original sort of
It was a lot of
fear.
very careful, then you go around this turn, and then you secretly drop down 3 feet, and a bunch of
Yeah.
huge trees come up. I was very happy that we were able to get the canyon crossing in, because it's one of the few places where I think you do a total figure 8 over yourself.
It was nice that you managed to problem solve all the sightline areas before I lose my mind.
Thanks for not killing me. I'm alive to be on this commentary track.
What does she have?
She's got Alzheimer's, dementia.
Whoa. How old was she?
Is she? She's alive. She's with her family in Melbourne, Australia. She's 43.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What was it like when you guys found out?
Devastating. Especially for her. You can understand.
And for you?
Anyway, everything she worked for was taken away, and that was it. Yeah. I'm sorry to be such a downer.
Don't even. I'm happy to listen. And, we'll try to have some fun this summer. I promise. Hey, do you see that?
Yeah, I think so. That thin plume of smoke?
Yeah. Looks like it's way down to the southwest. You should be able to find a way over there from the meadow by the lake. Towards 5 Mile Creek. It's in the southwest quadrant of your map.
What, you think it's those girls?
I'm pretty sure it's a campfire, so yeah. I'd call that a safe bet.
Man, they really do not give a shit, do they?
Not a one. So, How'd you meet?
Met in a bar.
The birthplace of modern romance.
I stumbled over and told her she was pretty, and that was it.
Aw, you were brave.
I was drunk. Oh, they're gone, for sure.
The girls?
I found their campsite. Someone or something tore it to shreds, and the girls left me a note behind.
Well, what's it say?
Threatening to call the police because they think I attacked them.
Oh my god, well, did you?
I didn't do anything to them, but it looks like someone had it out for them.
Then why do they think it's you?
Fuck, I don't know.
Huh.
Hey, I don't.
I believe you. Come on, Henry.
All right. It's weird what happened out here.
Weird stuff happens in the woods. It could be other campers. They could be having a bad mushroom trip. We really don't know. But they're gone. There's no way to call the cops. They're not coming back. And we can get to work. I'd really like to start enjoying a quiet summer.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, Henry?
Yeah.
What do you look like?
Why are you asking?
Because I'm horribly superficial.
Do you know Raleigh Fingers? He pitched for the A's.
No.
Well, I'm the spitting image of him.
Oh, wait, is he the guy with the snidely whiplash thing going on from the 70s? Ooh, my dad loved him.
Yeah, that's him.
That mustache. Now you have my attention.
Okay.
Okay, well, that gives me a good start. Now let's see. In my scope, I can only tell you're a white guy wearing shorts.
It's hot. And maybe, by the way, I'm not white. It's not very, PC or whatever they say.
Oh my god, you are the whitest man. Wow. I don't need a spotting scope for that. And if not shorts, then what do you normally like to wear?
Tuxedos as often as possible.
Oh, really?
You bet.
How cosmopolitan. I didn't realize Boulder was so chic.
It is the peak of high society.
Good to know, dear, yes. Now tell me about your face. I'm looking at you across the bar. What do I see?
Pretty thick beard.
Oh, have you always had a beard?
For a while, yeah.
All right, perfect. I want to know about your eyes.
Get out of here.
I'm drawing you. I need to know.
You're what?
Is that okay? Don't don't answer. I'm gonna do it regardless.
Fine.
Your eyes, tell me.
They look tired, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you hit a certain age and you think you're a younger person who just looks tired all the time.
Speak for yourself, mister.
But I guess that's getting old.
Well, some people might see distinguished. Okay, got it. Thank you, Henry.
You get what you need?
Absolutely.
Oh, and that window's all patched up. So, what should I do now? What's next?
What's next? What do you think is next?
Well, you've been the one giving me tasks for 2 days straight.
What's next is you sit in that room until September 1st and call me at the first sign of smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you let me know when you're mentally prepared for that task, and I'll give it to you.
Hey, this is Will.
And this is James.
We actually spent a lot of time trying to get the physicality of Firewatch nailed down, and one of the big parts of that was getting objects in your hand, like feeling like you could pick things up and touch them. Turned out to be quite a bit of work, though, nothing that was like reinventing the wheel. It was just a matter of getting, very specific offsets and very specific grips for every single item in the game, nearly.
We had tons of concepts, and we were looking at all sorts of games, and like Far Cry 2 and things for like, where's the best example of grabbing something in the world and it isn't just floating in front of you in the sort of Half-Life 2 style. We ended up just basically popping it into your hand over one frame, but making sure that happens at the exact moment that your hand's swiping over it, and it's worked surprisingly well. There were sorts of strange things as well, though, like these giant hands, and then like you'd put a beer can in his hand and suddenly be like, oh right, yeah, it looks like a little miniature minibar, airplane can of Coke. And so there are all kinds of strange little things that cropped up, but actually having the objects in your hand and you could turn them around from any angle, it ended up making it worth doing all these super detailed props. Like Ollie would make the fireworks and do just really funny, cool designs that you could only actually see if you turned them around and looked at them really closely, and I think it paid off, basically.
And those are just like a couple of poses that we blend between. Those aren't even very complicated, the lookovers, right?
Yeah, not at all, really. There's basically one for books and there's one for everything else, and it's just pretty much 2 points, like fully to the left and fully to the right, with just like a sort of intelligent blend between those two things. So there were so many items in the game, we couldn't have authored individual examines for them all. But even that ended up being incredibly hard to tune to get just right. Again, lots of iteration.
Okay, I think I am ready to tackle my long-term commitment of keeping this national forest safe from total destruction.
I am glad to hear you've really thought this through.
Of course.
We've issued you a comfy chair to sit in and everything.
It's not really that comfy. I mean, it's wooden and there's no padding. I think I actually got a splinter in my thigh this morning.
Aww. Well, regardless, take a seat. The forest depends on you. Hello, Henry. Having a nice afternoon?
I might never leave.
Well, I called with some bad news. 2 young women, Chelsea Stevens and Lily McLean, were reported missing. They've got parents out in California who haven't heard from them in a week. They were supposed to meet an aunt down in Cody. If they're the girls from last week, then you're probably the last person to have seen them.
You should tell whoever that I'm happy to be questioned.
Look, it's not gonna be an issue. I mean, if they turn up dead, then maybe. Should I just not say anything and save us the trouble?
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right, Henry, thanks. Enjoy the sunset. Henry? Henry, wake up. Get out of bed and pick up the radio.
What do you want?
Hey, you big dumb idiot.
Babe, it's late.
I know it is. You sound tired.
I am.
Are you having a nice time?
Yeah, it's good here. It's beautiful, you know?
That's great, Henry. Really great. Well, I'll let you get back to sleep then.
Okay, Jules.
Delilah seems nice.
Sure.
Bye, baby.
Is it too much of a pain in the ass to bring supplies all the way up to our towers?
Well, I get my stuff hand-delivered.
Oh, how's that work?
It's the perks of a decade of service. You're out hiking in 90-degree heat, and I get to do crosswords. Isn't life miserably unfair? Anyway, when you find a supply drop, remember it's not just for you, okay? Other lookouts, biologists, a few people get their food there, and I don't want to have to call in for more. There should be loads of good stuff, though. Beans, prunes, jerky. You know, my sister eats 6 prunes a day. 6. She's, like, really precise about it. She'd be great at this job if she didn't need wheelbarrows full of marijuana to function. So, like, 2 weeks ago, you called me in the middle of the night. You were sleeping, I guess, and all I heard was the name Jules through the mumbles. I just thought it was so sweet. I wanted to wake you up, but then I thought maybe you were having a nice conversation and I'd just be spoiling it. I hope you're doing okay, you know, when it comes to her.
I shouldn't be out here.
Yes, you should.
No, I just ran away from my problems.
No, you didn't. We all fuck up. Look, so a couple of months before I took this job, I was with this guy, Javier. He's incredible, caring, sexy as hell. He was a driller down in Casper. We dated for almost 5 years. I was working with the Wyoming Outdoor Leadership School, and I was obsessed with it. I wanted to be an instructor so badly. And I was sure I was going to marry Javier as soon as I could be bothered. Walls was also a good excuse to get out of town, drink whiskey in the mountains, cut loose. Then, Javier's brother got killed working in Gillette, and for some reason, I didn't come home. Javier said it was fine. He'd go to the funeral, take care of his mom, stuff like that. It'd be easier solo. When he came back, he left me. I came out here, I lied, and told my sister he fucked our neighbor. So, I lied to you. I came out here with a broken heart just like you. I figured you've told me so much about you, so, you know, there's something about me. We both fucked up.
All right, I got everything I need out of here. Time to chow down.
Just yours, right?
Who do you think I am?
You've got a front row seat for what might be the biggest fire of the year.
Yeah, it's really going.
I'm gonna call it in. They'll send in a hotshot crew for some suppression, but I bet we'll be stuck with her for the rest of the summer. And she doesn't have a name yet. I usually think of something funny or something practical or a little risque when coming up with them. But why don't you do the honors? So, no ideas, huh?
Well, we should just call it the Big Fire if we think it's going to be.
The big fire.
Yeah,
Well, that is practical.
always my goal.
I'm actually amazed we've never used that name.
Sometimes the best names are the most obvious.
The big fire it is. So there's this creek down the hill, and, you know what my favorite thing to do is?
What's that?
I love to take a bottle of whatever I have on hand, plunge it deep into the water, and let it chill in there all day. And then, on nights like tonight, when it is so disgustingly hot, I have something nice and cool to drink. I learned that from my sister in Santa Fe. She'd do that with a bottle of tequila near her house and make margaritas the size of your head. You'd like it there.
If I was there with you, I'm sure I would like it a lot.
Are you looking at the fire?
Yeah, I am.
I love how they look at night. During the day, it's just smoke, but when the sun is down, you can just get lost.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
Good. I don't talk to the other lookouts as much as I talk to you. Not in the same way. I know it's probably been a while since you've connected with someone the way we have. I don't mean to get all heavy, but it's been really nice. I wish I was over there.
I wish you were too.
We could sit outside. We could talk without these radios. We could, you know.
What? What could we do?
Well, let me tell you. You're going fishing without a license?
It's one fish, and I'm sick of all the stuff I got to eat.
No, I won't tell anyone you're a poacher. That reminds me, I keep hearing reports from Fish and Game about a problem bear they're trying to keep tabs on. Can you search around the lake for fresh tracks and just let me know what you find? There was a crew burning fire lines out to the east, and, you know, I think sometimes it riles up the wildlife.
Huh. Problem bear? Fuck that. I am of the opinion that they are all problems.
Come on, please.
Ugh. Can't believe I'm gonna leave this planet as a pile of bear shit.
Thank you, Henry.
Yeah. What the, Dee, I found a clipboard down here and there's something strange going on.
At the lake? What's up?
Someone has written down what we said to each other, have been saying.
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't talk to the other lookouts as much as I talk to you, not in the same way.
No way.
Wait, hold on. Something's out here.
Henry? I'm worried. You didn't find and eat any mushrooms, did you? Henry? Are you there? What happened, Henry?
Holy hell, I got hit in the head. Punched or something by someone.
Are you serious? What the hell is going on out there?
I don't know. Jesus Christ.
Let me get this straight. You found a clipboard with, what, transcripts of our conversations? What else is on it?
I don't know. It's gone, along with a radio of theirs. Somebody out here could have just killed me, Delilah.
What the fuck is going on?
What's Wapiti Station?
I don't know.
I saw the name Wapiti Station right before I was cold-cocked. Does Wapiti Station mean anything to you?
Wapiti Meadow. Maybe it's Wapiti Meadow. It's on our maps. It's not too far from where you are right now. It's north of the lake. It looks like there should be a trail somewhere on the north shore of Jonesy Lake.
I'll start hiking that way now. God damn it, my head.
Are you sure you saw what you saw, Henry? Maybe you pissed off some more campers and they came back to sucker punch you.
Look, I know what I saw. Hey, it was our words with initials for our names, H and D, clear as day.
And you've been feeling okay?
I feel fine.
Okay, I'm sorry. I believe you, but that conversation was from 2 weeks ago.
I know they were. So what's to say that they don't have transcripts from 3, 4, or 5 weeks ago?
Our entire relationship, friendship, our whole summer.
Someone is out here with the walkie-talkie taking notes and talking to God knows who. I'll hike out there and get some answers.
Great. Just keep a clear head. Don't, do anything crazy.
Like taking a job in the middle of nowhere with literally no escape from whatever or whoever is out there?
Well, I meant, kill anybody.
You got it, boss. Hey, I'm at that shale slide.
Wapiti Meadows to the west, back towards the lake, then around to the north. I know we don't know what's going on yet, but I don't have a good feeling. I don't like feeling vulnerable. It's not like you can just call the police. I was thinking about the Goodwins. It just struck me that if anything weird like this happened to them, happened to Brian, just how scared he would have been.
I'm sure he's fine, Delilah. I mean, don't you think if this started happening to them, he or his dad would have said something?
I don't know, Ned was a weird guy.
No, nobody is that weird. The moment you hear someone in the bushes or get punched from the shadows, you're getting your boss on the phone.
Yeah.
Brian is fine.
I hope so.
It was 3 years ago. He's in high school now. He's on summer break.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Hey, I called around. Things seem normal with everyone else.
Has anything strange been happening on your end?
No, nothing really.
Nothing really or nothing?
Nothing. My door was open the other night, but that's not strange.
That doesn't sound like nothing.
It's nothing, I promise. Keep your radio close to you.
Hey, what you just said, keep my radio close to me.
Yeah?
Before I got attacked back at the lake, I saw a radio on the ground, kind of like the one I use.
And?
Do you think that maybe someone was,
I don't know. What?
Hey, I wandered into an old scout camp. Gonna look around here first, okay? Maybe intercepting our frequency with other radios or something.
Henry...
It's just a thought.
I don't even know how you would do that.
Yeah, well, you sound worried.
No, I'm not. Okay, let's not spin out of control. Just keep hiking.
Whatever you say, boss. Hey, Dee, they left something behind. It's like a memo from their boss.
Did it say anything of note?
Next few days... dropping into the thoroughfare on behalf of Dr. Simmons at Wapiti Station.
Wapiti Station?
Holy crap.
Keep reading.
Oh, I just thought I would maybe, stop there, let the mystery percolate.
My mother always said I would meet someone who'd give me a taste of my own medicine.
They're running a research site out there. He was worried about wildfires.
Someone is writing down our conversations. And now we find out there's a research site out here that we don't know about? What are they researching?
Us. They're researching us.
You think they're studying you and me?
I do, yeah. I mean, maybe it's about studying two strangers who talk every day.
Like, if you put someone in isolation with someone else, what they do.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Well, fuck that.
Agreed.
I think we should allow for the possibility that this is all just a misunderstanding, but... God, if you saw what you said you did... Fuck, Henry.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. So what's next?
Well, I've got an axe, so I can figure out a way to get over the ravine and back towards the site.
Sounds good. Check in when you can, and keep an eye out for anyone following you. Are you there? I had a thought.
Let's hear it.
You heard someone in the bushes.
Yeah?
Okay, so let's assume we're being tailed. Or you are, at least. Where are you right now?
Just on my way back, in and out of trees in the middle of nowhere.
Do you see anybody?
No, definitely not.
All right, so tell me what you think of this. Did you just cough?
No. Did you just cough?
No.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck.
There isn't any way someone, like another lookout, could be on this line, is there?
No. Not without tapping our radios. Get in your tower, shut the door. Don't leave, and don't use your radio. I'll call you. Understand? I will call you.
Thoroughfare Tower, this is Two Forks calling you for the, 50th time today. The big fire continues to move in a southerly fashion. Delilah, for fuck's sake, answer your radio.
Hello, sunshine. Sorry, went out for a little bit. What can I do you for?
I didn't sleep a wink last night, and I've been going crazy for the past 6 hours of sunup. How are you so chipper?
Well, it's a new day. What a day, this day we've been given.
Maybe I am actually asleep right now. Maybe I didn't stay up all night knowing that someone is...
I actually slept just great.
Okay.
By the way, I was wondering if your Flora of the Shoshone info poster was still up inside your tower?
What?
It's just protocol that those stay up. You know, info about your tower, the surrounding tree species, etc.
All right.
Just, have a look at it. Make sure it's in ship shape.
just heard something.
What is it?
I don't know. It was goddamn terrifying, though.
Well, it could be an elk, or it could be someone trying to get you to radio about a loud noise so they know where you are.
Fuck.
How about you don't do that again?
Oh my god! Whoa! Ow! I got stung by a bee.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
Did it hurt?
Yes, kind of.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, Chris.
So over the course of Firewatch's development, we, I think, swung back and forth pretty wildly in terms of how much we wanted to play up the conspiracy part of the story and how explicit we wanted to make Goodwin's involvement and how much we wanted the player to buy into it versus how much we wanted the player to think this was sort of all in Henry's head or played up between Henry and Delilah. And the research site was really the moment in the game where
There's definitive proof something is happening, whatever it is.
we obviously knew as the developers of the game that the reality of the situation was a little bit sadder and more mundane. I think we kind of wanted there to be this big moment that suggests, oh, maybe this is something really huge.
Yeah,
I think
it's
we
funny.
got carried away a little bit.
Yeah, I think
arguably.
we arguably / probably did. And thinking back to it now, the reason that the typed reports came into the story at all, as you said about the pendulum going back and forth, I think we didn't like the story being 100% ambiguous. I don't know if we knew that we could support a world where Henry and the player and Delilah 100% construct a reality that doesn't have a single shred of proof. And we're like, okay, well, we got excited about maybe it's the 70s conspiracy moment of like, you're in a room full of whirring machines.
I think we on the team kind of hyped ourselves up in the same way Henry and Delilah do. I mean, I remember when I first the first draft of the music that you're hearing right now. I showed it to you only, I think, because I felt too stupid to show it to anyone else because I'm like, this is so ridiculous. We can't put this in our game.
Well, the one with
and you were like, oh, maybe we should put it in our game.
I don't know. Henry's going nuts. Everyone's going nuts.
It's true. We're all going nuts.
Maybe it could have been pulled back a little bit on all fronts from what you're observing right now, but maybe it's the best. Maybe it's for the best.
Could be.
Hi, this is Jane. I'm back again, and now I'm here with
Will Nunes. I was a prop artist.
And this is one of the few areas in Firewatch where it's not just about trees and rocks. So we wanted to make sure that this area feels very man-made and that is spooky and is ambiguous. Like the goal here is that you're gonna get here and you're not quite sure if this is like a surveillance operation or if it's scientific, and that's kind of what I told Will when we were trying to make a lot of props, and Will was really great about it. And I was just like, hey Will, can you please just make a bunch of boring scientific equipment?
Yeah, I mean, we were actually just looking up a lot of stuff like, stuff that monitored, thermal energy and stuff like that, like very, very standard kind of scientific equipment, but arranged it in kind of a sense that made it look kind of a little more eerie and a little more cluttered and haphazard and not really definable from someone that didn't really understand what this equipment was.
Yeah, I think if you actually look up each prop, that they actually are real, like, equipment, right?
Yes, I used reference from the late 80s for all this equipment. They're all real equipment that people use to, monitor the wind or environment, stuff like that.
Is there like a favorite piece of prop in this tent, Will?
I would say the equipment. Just it's really simple, but
I had a lot of fun making it and kind of seeing the layout and kind of trying to convey this kind of eerie looking equipment, doing something you're not quite sure what it's about, ambiguously, technical, and seeing where I could take it and seeing kind of, with the colors and the mood and how that would all fit together and how to set that scene right.
Are you shitting me?
What is it?
There's a folder of reports here.
What do they say?
They're assessments about the two of us. There's stuff in here about Julia.
Like what?
Stuff I didn't tell you. This is...
What does it say about me? You said there was one about me.
And it looks like they've been following me around. What I do when I'm out hiking? Jesus.
Henry, do you hear me?
It says that you and your boyfriend are still together.
What? We're not. They're messing with us.
Yeah, okay.
They are. How do they even know who he is? How the hell does this... I'm so sick of letting these people do this to us. We should just burn the place down. Think about it.
Yeah, fuck them.
They'll dump an ocean of water on it, and these assholes will spend the rest of the summer picking up the pieces. We get to finish out our contracts. Hell, we'll even call in the fire.
Yeah, okay.
You don't sound too excited about that.
I'm not.
Look, worst case scenario...
The whole forest burns down along with whoever's in it?
Fuck. Yeah. Worst case. Well, maybe it's not the best idea.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best idea.
I'm so fucking wound up!
It's all right. I'm just gonna hike back. We have the wave receiver, and tomorrow we can figure out what to do. Whoa! Oh, shit!
Henry? I think there is smoke coming from north of Jonesy Lake. That is suspiciously close to where you just were. Do you see it?
Jesus, okay, yeah, I see it.
What the hell happened to you? It's definitely not the best idea.
It wasn't me.
What do we do?
We just call it in like any other fire.
And what about who started it? What about them?
The person who started it?
Yeah.
We're talking about people watching us out here who are now burning the forest and everything in it around us. I don't know what to do about that.
Except get the hell out.
Yes, get us the hell out of here.
I will. Are you leaving your lookout?
This receiver picked something up. I'm just checking it out.
What? What thingy? What now?
I found a device that picks up frequencies. It's how I found the reports last night, and it's going off now.
It just picked up a frequency?
Yeah, what could it be?
I don't know. You gotta find out.
All right, I'm on my way now.
You know what I just picked up?
No.
A fifth of Major Bueno tequila from the creek.
Are you drunk?
No! I am getting drunk.
Good plan.
I'm a good planner. My thinking thinking is I could stay up all night worried I'm gonna lose my job because of the side fire, or I could not worry and let the chips fall where they may. It's not like there's any proof we were down there.
Shit!
Nels, it's the spooky nighttime scene.
So spooky. Impossibly spooky.
Coming up with this scene was funny because the bag that is in the little grove here is known, I think, definitely internally, I don't know if this is in the game, but as the bug out bag.
Oh, it is definitely the bug out bag. This is what actual hardcore survivalists call their, oh man, if the nukes hit New York City, I can grab my 2 bug out bags. They're in my closet, throw them in the back of my pickup, and drive immediately within 12 minutes of the air raid siren or whatever.
Yeah, and it's funny because we wanted it to tell a really sort of a nuanced story that didn't hit you over the head with exposition.
Yes.
And I think the bug out bag is probably a little confusing.
It might have been a bit too nuanced.
It's definitely confusing upon first discovery. This is Ned Goodwin's bug out bag,
Yes.
which is the heat's getting too close. I've gone too deep. This Henry and Delilah charade, and I'm gonna have to leave really soon.
Yeah.
So if Henry gets too close, I'm just rappelling down, scurrying over to get this bag, and I'm out. Yep. And I might as well wire it to a battery for the effort, so if it gets discovered, I know that it's gone.
Exactly.
I don't get led into a trap.
And this is things that, like, actual, weirdo hermit people that live in the woods. Like, this is actually a thing that they'll have. They'll have, like, their main campsite, but then if their main campsite is discovered, they have, like, another second supply cache where they can just grab their stuff and disappear. And it just happened to be that Goodwin, for sentimental or other reasons, was keeping the key to the cave on this backpack. He didn't like in any way leave it for Henry intentionally. It just happened to be that the weird electronics on it also got picked up by the wave receiver, and then what was meant to be like Goodwin's safety net backup thing is actually what is his ultimate undoing.
Yeah, and there's an article in a GQ magazine that I think you'll probably be talking about later, Nels, written by a reporter named Michael Finkel about this hermit who lived in Maine.
Christopher Thomas Knight.
It's a wonderful, wonderful long read. You can find it online. Again, it's GQ magazine, and I plumbed this thing for inspiration for Goodwin and how he would set up his camp and what he would do if he thought he was going to get caught. And it was an idea that I know went into my notebook upon reading this article. It's really great, and it's really wonderful reporting from Michael Finkel.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Chris.
So I love this little bit of writing and acting here where Delilah is drunk.
I
It's
too
adorable.
love it now. I love it now. Yeah. There was a big rewrite at one point. This scene was originally Delilah was just sort of in like hunker down mode. Don't go outside. We're gonna let all this blow over, and that's exactly what we don't want you to do. And you have a good relationship with her. At least you have some warmth to her, perhaps. And it just didn't really work as written and as recorded. So just sort of had the idea, got to the point where it's like, well, I want to change that. And the first idea was, and she's drunk. And I'd always thought that Delilah probably overindulged. I don't think she's an alcoholic or anything.
Sure.
But neither is Henry. But they both drink and have, probably had drunken nights that they really, really regret. Being able to bring that into the game just felt completely correct. But then recording it was so tough. Sissy Jones landed in just a perfect place. But when you write, your character is drunk, you get a lot of like, you get a lot of like hiccupy, like hobo. And we just sort of, you sit down and you just take 5 and you talk about it and you just kind of go like,
get her drunk.
Yeah, get her loaded and go on. No, we spent probably a good half an hour, maybe an hour, just coming at the drunk lines from different angles.
Yeah.
And then, it snaps in your headphones in real time in a way that then produces the feeling that you're talking about, Chris, which is like, oh, I love this. Like, it's cute and correct and right and, like, feels real and just does all the things it needs to do. But it makes me laugh, but Sissy nailed it.
And as a note, this is one of, I think, only 2 remaining parts in the game on the design side that are the survivors of a previous design where Delilah would reach certain thresholds where she would just cut you out of radio contact.
Yes.
And we kept 2 of them for sort of narrative reasons.
It's a tape of us talking down at the site. It sounds like it was recorded from somewhere nearby.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and it sounds like we were the ones who burned it down and that it was your idea.
No.
We are screwed.
No!
Dee, just don't freak out, okay? Don't freak out.
Oh my God, what the fuck is happening?
And here we are. I'm Nels once again, and we're talking to Jake about Henry's crazy conspiracy board.
Yes, it's conspiracy board time.
This first appears after you go to the research site and discover a bunch of crazy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was like what did you actually want the player to like be thinking about when this thing just kind of shows up?
We wanted the idea that Henry had stayed up all night just... When you get to the research site and you start feeling like maybe this conspiracy exists, when you think maybe there is a conspiracy, we wanted to take all of the pickups that you'd sort of been idly grabbing throughout the game, all the sort of documents and notes, and then putting them up on the board, like as if Henry stayed up all night trying to find connections between things. There are very few, but we wanted to sort of represent to the player all the stuff that you have been doing. Now that you know that there is in fact someone out there listening to you and watching you, do you want to reassess all the things you've been picking up in a new light? Also, it just gives a nice aesthetic change to the tower, right? It just fills the room up with a bunch of garbage and makes Henry look like maybe he's going a little nuts.
Early in the game, we kind of had this, like way when we were like barely past prototyping, we kind of had this notion that you'd find stuff out in the world and you could basically pick up and keep like almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the stuff you found would have this like home in your tower. And we kind of like, for a variety of reasons, kind of carved back on that idea a little bit, but it ended up instead kind of becoming this, right?
Yeah, because the only thing you can really reliably keep in Firewatch in the shipping version and that has a UI associated with it is notes and documentation. Like those go into the notes screen, you can read them there, and then it seemed like having all of that stuff sort of barf back out of the inventory into the world all at once when your perspective on the story changes was a cool way to handle that. It was also a way to remind people of all of the things that were out in the world that they had found, like to remind them of missing people flyers, to remind them that they'd found a little bit of stuff from the Goodwins, to remind them about Ron and Dave and about the research site. Like you could always, at the start of days, at the end of the game, go and refer to all of the written sort of evidence that the story had left behind so far.
Yeah, not only does a whole bunch of stuff that you optionally pick up show up here, but even after the board shows up the first time, still things that you find on the night of day 77 and day 78 also get added in here. So it even continues to get bigger as the days move on, even after it first shows up, right?
Yep. And then he goes home and is sad.
Thanks, Henry.
Something I like that came on a little later in development that you did, Nels, here is we are without the radio, and I like how that feels across like the broad swath of the game. I think it's really cool to not just be alone, but there are these sort of reflexive Henry comments to himself based on things you're looking at, and the way those are tuned throughout here are really nice. Player, I don't know if you've seen this, but when you're walking sort of in the upper level of the cave, you can look down and to the right and you can see Brian Goodwin's shoe. And when you sort of like zoom in on that, Henry will just call out to someone if is someone down there, is someone in the cave. And Nell sort of like concocted that and put them all in the game, and we wrote some lines that worked for it, and they're not all over the place, but I really like the way it made the cave feel.
Yeah, it's actually kind of one of my favorite moments in the game in terms of Henry's monologue too, because we conceivably, even though Delilah can't hear you, like we could have hooked up the same normal radio interaction to where it'd be like you could make these dialogue choices and Henry just either monologues to himself or like talks into the radio, even though we know Delilah can't hear him. But I don't remember. I might just have like tried it on a whim. Maybe someone suggested it. I don't exactly remember. But just having those play automatically when you've been looking at a specific object or area of the cave for like anywhere between like half a second to 2 seconds, and then those kind of monologue moments show up, or when you perform a specific action like zooming, it feels very natural in a way that like little kind of auto monologue lines in games often don't. There's like a couple in the upper level of the cave and then a couple more down near the bottom when you actually find Brian's body. It was kind of a bummer that they came online so late and there aren't any other spots in the game where Henry doesn't have access to the radio, because I actually would have loved to have a few more of these in the game somewhere as well.
You're always thinking about like what design tools do I have to like change the pace or make you feel something different. And I don't think we realized they were a club we had in our bag until we'd sort of like laid the whole game before us, and we went like, oh, yeah. We really like these. Oh,
I know.
And Rich did such a good job performing them. It was just, yeah, they really worked for me in the game.
Yeah, they're quite good.
What the hell? Freezing in here.
Hi, it's Jane again, here with...
Me, Jake. Hi.
So the way we work usually is that Jake will do a lot of the level design with gray boxing, and the cave is no different.
That's true. The cave is no different in that regard, but it is different in that it's ridiculous. Like the cave, Firewatch usually, when you're building it, you only have to worry about the floor, whereas the cave is a completely contained area. Like it's a cave. And I really wanted to take advantage of that, perhaps to an excessive degree. Like I really wanted the cave to feel like this snaking labyrinth that wove in and out of itself, and that you could see areas you were going to get to later from places you weren't at yet and stuff. But I had no idea if it would actually be allowed to exist inside of the rules of Firewatch until I handed it to you.
Well, the interesting thing about this cave is that, like, for example, this hole where the shoe is, you can actually see all the way down to where the body is.
Yeah, you can't
It's
quite
all
see the body
interconnected,
because you can't lean far enough in. But yeah,
but the spaces all are actually connected in a way that makes sense.
the cave is also actually exceptional in that I think it's the only place in Firewatch where we cheat space.
Yes.
There's a couple places in the cave where you drop off a ledge, and in the middle of Henry's drop animation, we just cut the camera and like blink you to another area that's like a few hundred meters farther away.
Yeah.
Because the cave ended up being so weirdly nested on itself. It ended up being this like compact ball of yarn to the point that it didn't actually get you all the way to Brian's hideout.
Yeah, and so like to like make the space make sense while not spending too much time making it, we just decided, hey, I guess by cheating it a little, it's okay. And I don't think people actually notice.
It also cuts your travel time down. Like people were spending a long time walking through it in the early version of the gray box. But
figuring out how to light the cave, because like video game lighting, yes, but you still have to make sure there are spots opening up to the sky so that because we need to make sure that Henry can go through this without a flashlight.
Right. But it's also nice and dramatic to have those little cracks of sunlight coming through.
Yeah,
it looks
that's
nice. But like, think about those torches.
Yeah, that's true.
Spike walls.
Or an underground lake. How about that?
Almost happened.
Almost made
Don't
it.
tell people about the lake.
Hey, are you there?
Yeah, what is it? What did you find?
Nothing yet, because someone tried to trap me in there.
You saw someone?
No, someone slammed the gate behind me and then ran away. I found another way out, but if I hadn't, Jesus!
So you didn't find anything?
No, there's a spot where someone had sunk an anchor, but the hardware's gone now.
I don't have any climbing equipment.
I just have my ropes. I'm gonna hike back to Two Forks and see if I can find anything that could double as an anchor to use in the spot.
Well, that doesn't sound dangerous.
Hey, it's Chris again.
Hey, it's Sean.
The entire Brian Goodwin saga changed absolutely massively, multiple times, really, over the course of the design and writing process. There was actually a previous design revision in which you, as the player, through just various means, could trigger the discovery of the existence of Brian Goodwin much earlier in the game, and we had to allow for all these different possible branches of when you could find that out and when Delilah would tell you more information and so on and so on. And it became a nightmarish possibility space that we really had to rein in.
It became just a very unwieldy story.
Yeah.
Inside of that story was the idea that Delilah didn't know who Brian Goodwin was.
Right.
She knew Ned Goodwin. He was a lookout who was out here, but did not know that he was here with a son because it was against the rules, and Ned had broken the rules by bringing his son out here. And from a design side, that was not to mention there's the unwieldy nature of the being able to never find out who he is until the very end, or figuring out that there was a kid in your tower on day one. That was unwieldy. And then furthermore, we were running out of tools to communicate the story of Brian Goodwin because the only thing we had was the discovery of objects, which felt very one note and very
it felt very breadcrumby.
Exactly.
There's all this information you have to know in this order, so you're gonna find these things in that order, and there were too many of them, and it felt completely contrived.
And this is just a design philosophy. I think this is a good story design philosophy, a good mechanics design philosophy when something just isn't working, is just ask yourself what happens if the opposite is true. I'll just say, okay, so what are the things that are true? Delilah didn't know there's a kid in the tower. I was like, well, what if she did? And not only did she liked him. Oh my gosh, well that makes the emotional payload of finding Brian Goodwin much more intense. And then once we had that, we had another design tool to communicate about who Brian Goodwin was to you.
And that tool was the one tool we had for communicating information.
Anything in the game,
anywhere
other
else
than finding something, and Henry going, we doubled the amount of information we could get to you, and it just made the game much more easy. It opened up the game from a story side, and it made us not have to constrain ourselves with that branching craziness of not knowing who he was and breadcrumbing you around the world.
And in doing so, it sort of simplified that total arc and allowed us to pack a lot more information into each of those deliveries. So when you find Brian's backpack, when you find his hideaway, each of those is like very information dense because we just consolidated it all to those zones.
And can reference the stuff you've learned along the way. So when you do find him, you actually feel like he's a human being who had a history and a life and a personality and stuff. And I'm really glad we got there.
Yeah, me too.
Because we got there late, and you just
Very
don't
late.
know if it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You just don't know. We got there August, September-ish of 2015. Game came out in February 2016, so very, very, very late.
Yep.
So, something I never told you, or anyone, about Brian. In regards to him being out here, you know, being against the rules. They almost got busted. Brian liked to go out on the railing of the tower and wave at the planes that dump water on fires, and I got a call because someone thought a kid was up in Two Forks. I lied, and just said it was Ned. If I ratted him out, they would have been forced to leave, and I don't know, I guess I just felt like I was saving him from whatever shitty life Ned was gonna bring him back to. Not that it ended up mattering. Oh, also, those girls turned up. Looks like you didn't kill them. Nobody did. They took some farmer's tractor for a joyride down in Riverton and, landed in jail.
I wonder if they know anything. If there's some way to ask them about whatever happened at their camp.
I think we'd be smart to let sleeping dogs lie.
You're probably right.
Something I like that came on a little later in development that you did, Nels, here is we are without the radio, and I like how that feels across like the broad swath of the game. I think it's really cool to not just be alone. But there are these sort of reflexive Henry comments to himself based on things you're looking at, and the way those are tuned throughout here are really nice. Player, I don't know if you've seen this, but when you're walking sort of in the upper level of the cave, you can look down and to the right and you can see Brian Goodwin's shoe. And when you sort of like zoom in on that, Henry will just call out to someone if it is someone down there, someone in the cave. And Nell sort of like concocted that and put them all in the game. And we wrote some lines that worked for it, and they're not all over the place, but I really like the way it made the cave feel.
Yeah, it's actually kind of one of my favorite moments in the game in terms of Henry's monologue too, because we conceivably, even though Delilah can't hear you, like we could have hooked up the same normal radio interaction to where it'd be like you could make these dialogue choices and Henry just either monologues to himself or like talks into the radio, even though we know Delilah can't hear him. But I don't remember. I might just like tried it on a whim. Maybe someone suggested it. I don't exactly remember. But just having those play automatically when you've been looking at a specific object or area of the cave for like anywhere between like half a second to 2 seconds, and then those kind of monologue moments show up, or when you perform a specific action like zooming, it feels very natural in a way that
like little kind of auto monologue lines in games often don't. There's like a couple in the upper level of the cave and then a couple more down near the bottom when you actually find Brian's body. It was kind of a bummer that they came online so late and there aren't any other spots in the game where Henry doesn't have access to the radio, because I actually would have loved to have a few more of these in the game somewhere as well.
You're always thinking about like, what design tools do I have to like change the pace or make you feel something different. And I don't think we realized they were a club we had in our bag until we had sort of like laid the whole game before us. And we went like, oh,
Yeah.
we really like these. Oh,
I know.
And Rich did such a good job performing them. It was just, yeah, they really work for me in the game.
Yeah, they're quite good.
Ah, shit. Are you... Oh, God. You're Brian Goodwin.
I came up with this character, Delilah, and then just thrust her upon you and said, you are going to be Delilah in this video game. I liked working with you on The Walking Dead. You were amazing as Katya. How did that character come to life for you?
Well, actually, I think her name was Alice at first, if you'll recall.
Oh, no, it was.
You remember that?
Oh, it was Alice. Oh, no. What a hilarious thing to have to remember.
I remember getting that email from you about, hey, I'm writing a game, female protagonist, are you in? And I didn't even have to think twice about it. I knew whatever you're working on, whenever, throughout history and time, I will want to be a part of. But then you sent me the sides for Alice, and I got to read about this beautifully flawed but fun and self-engaged woman. And it's one of the things I love about the characters that you write is that they're actual people. They're not tropes. They're not stereotypes of anything. They're full-bodied people. And so I got to dig a little bit into my past and what's made me tick and what would make me take a job in the middle of nowhere and shamelessly flirt with somebody over a walkie-talkie and build her from there. The wonderful thing about Delilah is that there's actually a lot of me in her, meaning like I grew up in Idaho. There are a lot of mountains and wildfires and solitude and stuff like that. I left and I moved to Los Angeles and now I'm surrounded by concrete, but I kind of started out in the same place.
I was integrating so much of the way you speak and the way you like tell a joke or laugh just back into the character. Do you feel like you had to create that stuff to be Delilah, or were you making a concerted effort to sort of like become her?
I think it's a little bit of both. I am a bit of a smartass, and so a lot of the stuff that you wrote really lent itself to that. But you know, as we started getting into the puns, you know, wouldn't you liken to know and stuff like that, I was able to kind of sit back into this woman who just doesn't give a shit. You know, she's out there in the middle of nowhere and having fun because this is her life. And so having that freedom to just be an idiot, it was really freeing. It was a lot of fun.
Something I like that came on a little later in development that you did, Nels, here is we are without the radio, and I like how that feels across like the broad swath of the game. I think it's really cool to not just be alone. But there are these sort of reflexive Henry comments to himself based on things you're looking at, and the way those are tuned throughout here are really nice. Player, I don't know if you've seen this, but when you're walking sort of in the upper level of the cave, you can look down and to the right and you can see Brian Goodwin's shoe. And when you sort of like zoom in on that, Henry will just call out to someone.
Hey, D.
There you are. I've been worrying my ass off.
Hey, I'm sorry, Delilah. I'm so sorry.
About what? You're freaking me out.
He's in there.
What are you saying, Henry?
The only thing in the cave is Brian. He's dead. His body is in the cave, Delilah.
Gotta be fucking kidding me. How does that... What? I don't... How?
Climbing, I think, or made to look like a climbing accident.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe it was Ned.
If not him directly, he put enough stupid fucking know-how in his head to get him killed. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Delilah. I'm so sorry.
He'd be alive if I had told someone he was out here. I don't know where he'd be, but I can assure you it would not be rotting at the bottom of that cave. There's nothing to say. Hike back. I think we're leaving tomorrow anyway.
No, I was just busy packing up.
Well, there's gonna be a lot more. The service says this thing is 2% contained.
Is this the big fire or the site fire or...
Well, the two fires merged into one unmitigated disaster. They're renaming it after my lookout. You about packed up?
Shouldn't we talk for a sec, about things?
About what?
We still don't know who was listening to us, who was following me around, who made that tape.
Yeah. All we have is the body of a dead boy who did nothing wrong.
But maybe we can still find these people.
Look, I think whoever's out there caused the site fire to cover their tracks, and I'm almost certain that when I get off the helicopter, I'm going to be led into a room and made to listen to a tape of me saying we started it.
And we don't know shit. What can I do?
Well, there's something for you to do. Holy shit.
Holy crap. Yeah, oh my god.
We don't know what it is. It could be nothing.
Yeah, it could also be whoever was listening to us, whoever made the tape.
Okay, yeah, look, you should pack up everything you need in case we get the call and you can't come back.
All right, look, if something happens...
I'll remember you.
Oh, well, that's nice.
What's your status?
I think I'm getting close.
All right, well, I just got word that they are coming to get us. My place.
You sound worried.
No, it's just...
Brian?
I'll coordinate with the evac team and let you know when to head towards the tram. It's north. Far. Past where you found that cut back in May. There's an emergency tram out there that will let you hike to the rendezvous point at my lookout.
Henry. Hey, you better find this before it burns up. We've been causing each other a lot of headaches. Now I gotta go stake out a site that's as fit for living as the one you're about to find. You'll get it when you see it. You can't blame me for keeping an eye on you. Not after bumping into you back in May. Down by the cave, for croc's sake. I've been up here for 3 years. I kept it cozy. Winters are harsh as hell, and I ran out of books. But I got that antenna rigged up, and Delilah, she's a record you don't gotta flip. I kinda get why Brian took to her. About a week ago, I stopped worrying about you finding anything out, and that's right when everything went shithouse with you two. You guys don't know anything about having kids. All right, nobody knows nothing. It ain't Andy and Opie walking down the lake to fish every afternoon. It ain't Mayberry. But you gotta know I didn't kill him. All right, we were climbing. I was teaching him. Brian was uneducated in the way to do anything. He just fucking didn't sink his anchor the right way. You know, I thought about going back, having to answer questions, and having to get him put in the ground, and I didn't see the point. Don't come looking for me. Sorry about your wife.
Henry, what did you find?
We found the surveillance operation.
Okay, what does that mean? What is it?
It was Ned Goodwin. He was the one listening to us. Just him.
Ned Goodwin? He made the tape?
Yeah. He's gone. He's deeper into the Shoshone. He doesn't want anyone to know he's out here.
Because he killed Brian. Because he killed his fucking son. You need to get back here. They say the helicopters are making rounds.
Okay.
I know I should be relieved. Relieved that there's no evidence of us starting that fire. Relieved that we're not crazy. That there wasn't some conspiracy. But I'm not. He was a sweet kid. With a shitty father who hid out here like a coward after dumping him in a hole.
I think that Ned loved him.
I don't want to hear it.
He obviously didn't want to forget him. He just didn't know what to do.
Henry, not knowing what to do isn't okay. When you're supposed to look after someone,
You figure it out.
Yes. And Ned Goodwin is a shithead who is incapable of figuring anything out. Sorry. God, it would have been so easy to tell the truth and have him sent home. I can't stop thinking about it.
You didn't do anything wrong. You said it yourself. It was Ned's job to look after him.
Yes, I did. And now I've got to decide whether I tell people that he's down there so they can retrieve the body or not. And if I do, I'm going to be asked about Ned Goodwin.
D?
Oh, fuck.
Is that a helicopter?
Yeah, hold on. Hey. No, there's one more. Yes, here, yeah. Yeah, he's coming. Okay, 1 second. Hey, they're here, but they're making rounds. They'll come back. I think I'm gonna go with them. Hike safe.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Sean.
I don't know about you, but I get a lot of email and tweets about people really, really wanting Delilah to be in the tower at the end of the game.
I hear about that a fair amount myself.
And I am really, really happy with the performances of Henry, or Rich and Sissy, here in the canyon when she says there's a helicopter here and it's ready for me to get on it.
Yeah, me too.
And if you're wondering why we ended up making the creative decision we made, there's sort of two things that I know Chris and I spoke a lot about. One is Delilah is simply not the type of person to wait for anyone. And Chris did a really good job with me just sort of painting a portrait of her emotional state and what it would feel like to be waiting for this guy to show up after a really, really tragic thing has happened, and then just sit in this tower and wait for a helicopter, thinking about this dead kid and how messed up their entire summer had been.
Yeah.
And the
you
dread
wrote,
of
you wrote
having
that
to do
almost directly.
Yeah,
into the
and that's
game.
what I did. You basically painted that portrait for me, and I went, oh, well, she's just gonna say that.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here in the shadow of a dead boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I went yep, all right, thank you for giving me that. And then alternatively, Henry's wanted nothing more than to be made to feel better over the past 5-10 years of his life. Definitely the past 5, definitely the past 1. And that feeling of disappointment that you feel when you open the door and she's not there, even though you ask her to stay, and you can hear how badly Henry wants her to stay in Rich's performance and in his voice. I wanted that feeling to go into the player, that level of disappointment. And then for some players to think, man, but how disappointed would I really be if I was him? And obviously we can't make you think that stuff, but if we do, then I feel like the story has been successful in communicating the sort of the emotional payload that it set out to provide. So there you go.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Ollie again.
And it's Jane again.
So this is Delilah's Tower. Funny fact, this was one of the first things we concepted and built in the game. We always knew that the game would end with Delilah's Tower, and I think we all liked the idea of the title screen being Delilah's Tower. So that was one of the first things we did as a sort of test. But it wasn't until closer to the end of the game that we really thought about what Delilah's Tower would be like on the inside.
Yeah. And by that point, we kind of, we were very well acquainted with
Towers.
all sorts of towers. And so I don't even think we had a big concept about it. We just kind of went in and went through all our references, and we just decided, we should have this kind of ceiling and
we should
different
just change
cabinets.
It. Yeah, it should feel familiar, but sort of different enough that it feels like a Delilah's place. And we thought about all the things that the player learns about Delilah across the
that was
the game,
really fun.
and try and communicate that through things, but also maybe some things that you don't know about Delilah that are interesting to find out.
I remember when I was just making props for her space, that I would ask Sean, hey, if she were just eating a snack, what would it be? And Sean would just say, peanut butter and apples. And I would just ask Sean, what kind of slippers would she have? And, we would just have to think about, through the props, tell sort of a little bit of, character of who Delilah is, like what kind of shoes she wear would just be the fun kind of things to think about.
Interesting fact also that the behind the mask of the firefighter who collects Henry at the end is actually Henry's own face because it's the only face that we had modeled in the game. I really like the idea that potentially someone would have noticed and thought it was this insane twist.
Third ending.
Yeah, third ending. Henry sees himself and
John Malkovich
realizes
moment.
that it was all a dream. Henry died in the cave-in on the way into the.
He
on the way into the
rescues
park.
himself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so good.
Hello? Is anybody there?
Hi. Yeah, it's me. I'm back at the staging area near the trailhead. I think I see your truck.
Red? Colorado plates?
Yeah. It's a piece of shit.
Well, yeah.
I think there might be a raccoon living in it.
Make sure he's comfy, I guess.
Hey, it shouldn't take long for the helicopter to reach you.
Okay.
There's a debrief in a situation like this. Lots of questions.
Shit. So, taking stock, we found out an old lookout killed his only son and decided to become a lonely hermit.
Yes.
And we prevented one fire?
Basically started another.
Okay, so that's a wash.
I'll have to figure out what I'm doing every summer from now on that isn't this.
You're not coming back?
No. And you'll have to... I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know what's next.
Tell you what, why don't you choose for me and I'll choose for you?
All right, sure. Maybe... Well, you'd make a great shrink.
Are you kidding me? You spent 10 weeks with me, and God knows how much therapy it's going to take to undo this experience.
Well, you're a good conversationalist, I guess.
Thanks. I try.
I mean, you definitely still have some stuff to learn at shrink school, like a lot of stuff.
Noted.
So, what about me then?
I think you should go to Julia, and then you can figure it out. Maybe put that typewriter to good use. Give me a sexy accent or something if you write about this.
I am. Yeah.
You gotta go see her.
Would you?
Henry, Look, you came out to put your memories behind you, and they're still right there in front of you.
I gotta move on. I don't expect you to know what that's like, but I have to find some way to move on. Something to do.
What if you can't?
Then maybe they're hiring lookouts in the Adirondacks.
I don't believe that for a second.
I gotta move on. Somehow.
I hope you do.
There's the helicopter.
They'll land you back where you hiked up. Good luck, Henry.
Thanks, Delilah. I appreciate it.
I mean it, Henry. Good luck.
Thanks.
Bye, Hank.
Yes, Jake.
So now I'm going to talk about the secret alternate ending to Firewatch, which, if for anyone who isn't aware of this, if you dilly-dally after the final conversation with Delilah, then the helicopter will just leave without you, and that is fully supported with its own animation content and so on and so forth. If I remember correctly, it was essentially a request from you to me, Jake. Is that how you remember it?
I think that Sean and Chris and I all wanted it to happen. Once we realized the helicopter pilot was there, given that all of Firewatch is sort of, or not all of it, but quite a lot of Firewatch is predicated on the idea that if you don't do anything, that inaction is action. Like if you let a conversation time out, it just times out. It seems ridiculous that a helicopter pilot would wait for a crazy person for this long. So it seemed like a fun and accurate Easter egg to let him just totally abandon you. I don't know. My favorite ending of Firewatch is the one where the helicopter pilot flies away and the player raises their camera at the last second and snaps a picture of the helicopter leaving them behind, because the story in that credit sequence is just totally weird. The Henry that gets left behind, like, is he burned alive? Does he go off and run into the woods and become Ned Goodwin of his own? I don't know.
Tons of weird, quite complex stuff goes in at the very end when you understand the systems, because like building that in terms of the scripting logic is pretty complicated, but it's like I was at my most competent at scripting events, so it just slipped in like half a day near the very, very, very end.
Also, a game development trick that everyone should learn is that if it's the very last thing that happens in the game, it can be as crazy as you want, because that game is unloading itself the moment it's done. Who cares what mess that thing leaves behind? Your game is erased immediately afterwards, so just go nuts.
I'm very pleased we did that.
Yeah, same. That's the end of the Firewatch audio tour. Thank you very much for playing along and listening to all this stuff. Yeah.
But what is Firewatch?
That was it. We did it. That was the whole thing just now.
I'd rather be blind, boy, than to see you walk away from me.